Tom was a fisherman who lived in a small coastal town. Every morning before sunrise, he took his boat out to sea and returned before noon with fish to sell in the market. Tom was known as a hard-working man, but he had one weakness. He always wanted one more catch. If his boat was already full, he still stayed longer. If the sky began to change, he still tried for one more net. He believed that one extra catch would always make the day better. Near the harbor lived an old fisherman named Daniel. Daniel had spent most of his life on the sea. His back was bent and his hair was white, but his eyes were calm and observant. Many young fishermen respected him and often asked for advice. One morning, Tom was preparing his boat when Daniel walked slowly toward him. Daniel looked at the sky for a moment. "Tom," he said calmly, "the weather will change today." Tom shrugged. "The sky looks fine," he replied. Daniel shook his head gently. "Clouds far away can still reach you," he said. "Go out, catch what you need, and come back early." Tom smiled politely, but did not take the advice seriously. "I will be careful," he said. Tom pushed his boat into the water and sailed toward his usual fishing spot. The sea was calm. The morning sun was bright. Birds circled above the water. Tom threw his first net. When he pulled it up, it was full of fish. "Good start," Tom said to himself. He stored the fish and threw the net again. The second catch was also large. Soon, his boat already had enough fish to sell for the day. Tom looked at the sky. It still looked normal. "Just one more catch," he said. He threw the net again. More fish. Now the boat was very heavy. Tom wiped his hands and looked at the water. Small waves had begun to appear. He remembered Daniel's warning, but Tom thought again. "One more catch," he said quietly. He threw the net again. This time, the wind began to rise. Clouds moved faster across the sky. Tom pulled the net up with difficulty. The fish were heavy and the boat rocked slightly. Tom looked toward the shore. It was farther than he expected. The wind grew stronger. The waves became rough. Tom quickly started the boat to return home, but the sea was no longer calm. The boat moved slowly against the wind. Water splashed over the sides. Tom gripped the steering handle tightly. "If I had left earlier," he muttered. The boat struggled through the waves. One large wave hit the side of the boat and knocked a basket of fish into the water. Tom tried to balance the boat. Another wave came. More fish slid into the sea. Tom watched helplessly as part of his catch disappeared. Finally, after a long and difficult struggle, he reached the harbor. The storm clouds now covered the sky. Rain began to fall. Tom pulled the boat to the dock and stepped out slowly. Many fishermen had already returned earlier. Their boats were safe, and their fish were still in their baskets. Daniel was standing near the shore. He walked toward Tom and looked at the half-empty boat. "Rough sea?" Daniel asked calmly. Tom nodded. "I should have come back earlier," he said. Daniel did not scold him. He simply sat on a wooden crate and motioned for Tom to sit beside him. Tom sat down quietly. Daniel pointed at the boat. "Was your boat full before the storm?" Daniel asked. "Yes," Tom replied. "Then why did you stay longer?" Daniel asked. Tom looked down. "I wanted one more catch." Daniel nodded slowly. "The sea gives enough to a careful fisherman," he said, "but greed asks for more even when enough is already there." Tom listened silently. Daniel continued. "When greed speaks, judgment becomes quiet. A person stops seeing danger." Tom remembered the calm morning and the moment he ignored the warning. Daniel spoke again. "A wise fisherman knows when to stop." They both sat quietly for a moment. Tom finally said, "Today, I almost lost everything for a few extra fish." Daniel smiled gently. "Then today was a valuable lesson." The next morning, Tom prepared his boat again. The sea was calm. He went out, caught enough fish, and filled his boat. He looked at the sky. Then he remembered the storm. Tom pulled up his net and turned the boat toward shore. Another fisherman nearby shouted, "Tom, the fish are still biting." Tom smiled and shook his head. "I already have enough." When Tom returned to the harbor early, Daniel saw him and nodded. Tom tied his boat and carried the fish baskets to the market. This time, he did not wish for one more catch. He had learned that when a person already has enough, chasing more can cost everything. And from that day forward, Tom always remembered, greed can blind good judgment.